I'm back just riffing again and yeah, talk about some psychic stuff. We all have psychic abilities, and I am not referring to some sideshow carnival act. First of all, um, the I can get deep into like a little bit of history as to why we think of it that way, but I won't. Just know that we all have psychic ability. And the way you know this is some people will say, well, I just had a feeling. I had a gut feeling. There's that intuition that you have. And the psychic ability is different. It's different for each of us. There are so many types that I don't even know if anybody knows all the names. There are some things that you could do that you might not even be able to put a name to it, or something you don't even know that it's a thing. Some folks can see people's emotions, so they can see the color in people's auric fields change based on their emotions. Some people have a, a knowing, some people can hear, some people feel. Um, there are people who can tell when there's an area of land that needs to be healed. There are people who can see illness in the other folks' auric field, or they can see the illness in their bodies. Um, some people can see energy and vibration. Some people see color. When they hear music, they can also associate the color that goes with it. And there are so many different things. I know one person can tell, and she doesn't know the name for it. Nobody that I know of can knows the name of this ability, but she can tell when someone is pregnant and what they're going to have, a boy or a girl. There are some people who know something is off by the taste. They can taste it. Some people can smell it, whether it's good news or bad news. I know someone who also can tell when something is about to happen that's going to be kind of like, she feels a little bit ill in her stomach. So many different things. People have a capacity of knowing how they can heal, what they can use internally just from their intuition, how they can heal someone else or land or nature or whatever. There are so many different types, and the way that you know that this is a thing, and it's lying dormant because we're taught to believe that we are separate. We are essences of the Most High. We are essences of that higher power, and we do have gifts within us. I'll call them gifts within us that we can actually use for the highest good. But they lie dormant because we're taught to believe that we have to wait to be saved, when really everything that we seek is already within us, because again, we are essences of the Most High. I call that big energy, that high power, God. Some people call it source, some people call it Allah. There are so many different names. This is not about religion. This is just about a knowing. This is more about spirituality, and it transcends religion. And when you mention psychic abilities, people are like, oh, this person is whacked out, crazy, and all that. But anytime you say, I had a feeling, I just kind of knew, or I had a gut feeling, or if you ever heard something, but it was in your head, but not audible outside of you, maybe, like someone's calling your name or something. That's happened to me a few times. I would be asleep, and then I would wake up by someone just calling my name. So, you would call that clairaudience. And a lot of us have multiple. We have multiple abilities. And the way you tap into them is meditation. That is like how I started realizing and seeing things for myself that I didn't even know was there. It's so cool. It is really cool. We're all like these superheroes, but we don't know it because, again, we were conditioned to believe that we're separate from everything, separate from the Most High, separate from each other, separate from nature, all of that. But if we just, and look, it has to be practical, right? Nobody has time to sit and be still for 2 hours straight every single day, but you can do it 5 to 15 minutes or 5 to 30 minutes a day. And if you don't have 30 minutes, then you can do it 5 minutes a day. Whenever you have the time, you can sit with yourself and just be still and focus on your breathing. And the way that I figured out how to do it without allowing my monkey mind to get in the way, because when you sit still, you start thinking about a bunch of stuff. I just put myself in a perpetual state of hearing, like, what? If you could imagine you thought you heard something and you're like, shh, do that. And so when you do that, you relax everything else and you allow your hearing to take the center stage so that you can see what that was that might have fell, or someone knocking on the door or calling you or something like that. So it's the same thing. And then the second thing that really works for me while I do that, I also get really sensitive. Like I'll relax and almost like I'm a rag doll, just sort of loosen up and just rag doll it. Like imagine you're a marionette and you're like, okay, just being still. And you can just ask questions. You can just say, who am I? Like, what are my gifts? You can do this after a prayer and then go right into the meditation. If you have a house full of people, I've done it with the TV on, people watching TV. You can drop in at any time. Once you start to get the hang of it, you'll actually look forward to, it's almost like you're going into your own little sacred space anyway, because nobody else knows what's in there. You can just say, hey, I'm just dropping in for a minute, and you can just zone out and get into, it's like a zone. You zone out. You ever been in a daze? That's another way you can think of it. Just kind of go in a daze, close your eyes, and maybe look, just have your eyes look right here, almost like you're cross-eyed. If that's not comfortable for you, just close your eyes and relax and sit. Focus on your breathing. If there's noise in the room, clump it all together and allow that noise to be the thing that you hone in on. Like if it's a lot of children laughing, then you can hone in on the laughter and just listen to the laughter. If you're by yourself, you can listen to your breath. But that is how I started discovering some of them. And I know that I'm sure it's only the tip of the iceberg. But there are some things I was like, wait a minute, what's that? What's going on? I don't know. But it's so fun. And you can't hurt yourself doing it, But yes, there are so many. And what I think I might do for a future video is get all of the names so that you'll know what I'm talking about. Like we know, like a clairaudience is the ability to hear. You have clairvoyance, which is the ability to see what other people may or may not be able to see. And then there's taste. There's so many. Like I said, there are names. There are a lot of them, and don't know the names of all of them. I can't even speak. I need to sip some of this water. Wait a minute. Good old-fashioned lemon water. Yeah, so think about the things that you have kind of dismissed and just sort of shrugged off, which is what I did. I was like, what's that? Oh, whatever. Oh, maybe I'm just seeing things, that kind of thing. Like, whatever, I'm not. Or like maybe you can smell maybe a relative that is no longer with us. And you're like, wait a minute. That perfume, I smell the perfume, but nobody here is wearing perfume. In fact, that perfume only belonged to that one person, and that person is not here. No one else is here but me. Or And nine times out of 10, that probably means the person is there visiting, just saying hello, and that is how they can communicate with you. But that's another video altogether. But yeah, I just thought I would come in and talk about that and just really consider what you have. Like, we are infinite beings. We are, I used to say that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, but we're actually spiritual beings having a spiritual experience down in these human bodies. And then the question is, well, why? Why are we in these human bodies? Like, we are this big energy stuffed down in this dense meat suit. But the question is why, and why did we choose this? Anyway, that's enough for now. I'll talk to you in the next one.